Wow. What has seemed like a 1 year journey has basically turned into a 2 year journey. As this is the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8 review. I had to wait and bite my tongue to do this because I didn't want to, ruin it for anybody. So here we are, ready to spoil the fun. So here it is. The Mandalorian. The reason why people get up in the morning, right? On Friday. Look at this. The spinner rack. Just flash. He's doing a second review of the Mandalorian last episode. As if there was nothing to get out. I just got an alert for it. Go subscribe to him as well. And if you're just visiting here, definitely subscribe. This is one, it's called The Rescue, where they're coming to rescue Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, aka the child, from Moff Gideon. Now, this episode is just to conclude the final parts of what was started early on. It's just a climactic finish. So it was nothing really to go on here on this episode. This whole episode was done basically in space. That's it. There was nothing to really go off of. They were in space. They get the doctor. I love the first guy who decided he was with the Empire 100%. Starts laying into the other girl about about Alderaan. Traitorous bunch of people. I mean, he was great. So he was sticking with it no matter what. So he was ready to take the doctor out, and she had him lined up, and he didn't even know it. So she ended up just taking him out. Well, here you got two warrior heroes. I mean, you got four women on this battle, and one man who's Mando. He leads the attack with four women as he has Bo-Katan on there and her sidekick, Sasha Banks, who gets in a fight early on when they go and recruit them to join him. Boba Fett and her get into a war. And those two are fighting each other. So she sits there and calls him a clone and all kind of stuff. So it was, I know I've heard that voice before. You're a clone. So I'm like, you look too young to even have heard that voice before. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I just would be surprised. To me, it's surprising that they didn't have more security for this important doctor to pull off these experiments that they're doing with the child. And they seem like this is the way they're gonna bring Snoke back. So eventually something's gonna happen to Grogu rather. So we gotta sit back and kind of wait it out and see how the process go. But I don't think he makes it at some point down the line because we eventually get Snoke, and I think all of these experiments is a way of them cleaning up the Star Wars, their timeline to try to explain how they brought Palpatine back. So they have to go and now insert all of these insane theories. Because General Snow, or Supreme Leader Snoke, rather, those two had never, ever, ever in the original script, Snoke was never a clone. He came in the original script. They had a statue built of Snoke when he was younger, and he had an altercation, a battle with Luke Skywalker, where he was left for dead. So that was explaining about his lust to destroy Luke Skywalker is because of what Luke did to him. Now, with that being said, when it comes down to it, this episode, they take over the ship. Moff Gideon has the dark saber. Starts explaining it to Mando. As you can tell, the dark saber can't penetrate pure Beskar. Can cut through anything except for pure Beskar, which is a metal that's, you know, the Mandalorians have. Now, he beats Moff Gideon and makes claim to the sword. So it belongs to him. So he tries to give it to Boca Raton. But Boca Raton, I keep saying Boca Raton. He tries to give it to Boca Raton and she can't take it from him because he would have to lose it in combat. And he's like, here, I yield. It's yours. And she can't take it because it must be won in a battle, which is going to set a stage up for her and the Mandalorian to fight each other eventually down the road. You can see that kind of being set as a stage. And then you got this situation at the with the where they had the dark soldiers where they're not completely robot. They got human DNA mixed in with robotic parts, but they basically are robots anyway. And their commands is to wipe everybody else out but protect the child. So having them show up and the way they came storming in there, I'm thinking more of it. Like, okay, we're gonna get a lot more from these soldiers. As you see Mando fights one of them and was able to blast the other ones out into space. But a whole armada of them showed up. And when they arrived on the ship, they were going to be doomed. Then something happened. Something incredible went down. Someone pierced the sky, came storming down. It was no one other than an X-Wing fighter with a green lightsaber slicing through everyone, and we can't see their face. I could see the black glove on his hand, and I said, "That's Luke Skywalker." And sure enough, it was Luke Skywalker as he came to take claim to Grogu. Grogu is gone with Luke, and Luke is going to train him. He shows up with R2D2, and they leave. Which ends the Mandalorian. Now, what will be his path? What will be his new mission? Everything starts anew. And it's about 3 spin-off shows is going to happen based off this. Ahsoka, who shows up for the one episode, she's now not going to be part of the Mandalorian. She might appear in an episode or so, but she's going to start her own mission, which follows Rebels. So you'll see her from, you want to catch up, Clone Wars and Rebels is where you would need to go. And will we see a Ezra Bridger episode? We might. And what about, and don't forget, because this is important, what about Boba Fett? If you stay through the credits, there's an end scene where he goes back to Jabba's palace, wipes out the old cast members. It was great to see the old guys who played in the uniform before, that old character. I always wondered what happened to him. And Boba Fett just wipes him out and then sits on the throne that used to be Jabba's throne. And he just takes it over. So, back on Tatooine, Boba Fett is now home. And a new show called The Book of Boba Fett will be coming to Disney Plus. So, this new streaming outlet has been a lifesaver for the Star Wars universe, meaning that they don't have to worry about putting things out at the movie theater and spending hundreds of millions of dollars for something that may or may not work. Something that they wish they had done with Solo. But now with Disney Plus, any follow up to Solo won't be a motion picture. If so, it would be a Disney Plus adventure. And it wouldn't have nearly the budget Solo had. So I love the whole episode Luke Skywalker, seeing him in action again was great. To give him a action climatic scene, I'm quite sure people are going to want to see more of Luke in the next series. So we'll have to see what happens. Until then, I'm out.